Hi, this is Mike Brown, owner of Death Wish Coffee Company. Welcome to Fueled by Deathcast.
I love Jeff, but sweet and hot. Whoop, Mr. Motorama coffee.
Death Wish Coffee presents Fueled by Deathcast, the world's strongest podcast. With your hosts, the incredible Jeff and the amazing D-Man.
Hello! Welcome, everybody. Did I scare you?
You can't play peekaboo with me, man. That is like, yeah, I'm already on edge. That just pushed me over.
All right. Well, we got a okay show for you. I'm going to start this a little bit like mediocre.
Yeah,
and we'll
see,
build it up. You're teaching me.
I taught Jeff you need to under-promise and over-deliver.
Yes.
So you're going to get a really mediocre show, but in secret, it's going to be a great show.
It's going to be great. Welcome to Fueled by Deathcast, everybody. This is episode 67 for those of you keeping track at home. And as always, I am the incredible Jeff.
And I am the okay D-man.
Yeah, and when you find out that he's actually amazing, you'll be like, oh my God,
You see what I
he's
did there?
amazing.
Yeah.
Please give us a follow over on social media. D-Man and myself really love playing around with Instagram, and we're getting a little into Twitter, not as much, but we are the same on both. It is very easy. I am at Jeff Wish Coffee.
And I am at Death Wish Dustin.
It's that easy. And if this is your first time in this show, this is what you got to do. Share the feed, comment shared in those comments below, and we're going to pick one lucky winner to win this mug. It is our 2017 Old Man Winter mug.
Yeah, this mug has been totally sold out for a while, but you know what? Winter has not gone away yet.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
So we still have a few of these mugs left, but you can't buy one. You can only win one here.
Yeah.
So make sure to share the episode, comment shared so we know that you shared it. And this is number 3067. And Jeff and I will sign the bottom of this son of a bitch. We'll get this out to you. And that's all you have to do, really.
So easy. Just share, comment, shared. We'll pick a winner right at the end of this broadcast. And it's that easy. We start every single show by thanking our good friend, the one, the only Brock Powell.
BrockVox.com.
That's right. He's the voice actor on all of the voices on this show. And 1,000 of them out there in the world. Head on over to BrockVox.com. See what he's up to. He's going to be blowing up this year with all the stuff.
Like literally, like just exploding.
Exploding. It's going
Just
to be
guts
incredible.
everywhere. It'll be creepy.
It'll be viral. Viral YouTube. It'll be amazing.
Sorry, Brock.
Also, thank you to the company Black Magic Design. Black Magic Design creates all the technology over here that I'm utilizing to make us look as good as we sound. And I can't thank them enough. And hopefully, we're going to be upgrading some of our stuff this year. I gotta talk to the boss man. But,
I don't know
yeah.
anything about that.
Yeah,
Oh.
so I'm looking. I'm wishful shopping. Right
Is
now,
there any
so.
filters that make us both look like Brad Pitt?
Ooh,
That would
I
be
don't
cool,
know.
right?
I'll get them on the horn though, and I'll see if they can make something like that. For
Everybody will watch it then.
Secret code unlocked. Discount of death.
So this week up until Wednesday the 28th, if you type in the discount code Star Trek on deathwishcoffee.com, you will get 15% off of the diner mugs. Jeff spells Star Trek.
STARTREK, all one word.
Yeah, and now is the opportune time to buy these. I will tell you, as inventory manager of Death Wish Coffee, these will sell out very soon. And really, with a 15% discount code, there's not a better time to buy them. So
They're great. They're American made. They got the memes that you guys helped vote on the front, as you can see behind me. Maybe swearing will help, and does it look like I rise and shine? And then on the other side is the Death Wish logo. They're dishwasher safe. They're like the perfect everyday use mug, you know, because I know a lot of you out there love to collect the Deneen ones, you know, and keep them pristine in your cupboard. But these you can knock around and have a good time with.
And it's really, as far as quality, it's only a minor step down to what Deneen does. You know, it's a little bit more simplified.
Yeah.
But, I mean, these are still, like, very, very high-quality mugs. I'm stoked on it. I love having them around the
I
house.
do too. So get them before they're gone. 15% off this week until March 28th, and use that code Star Trek. And the reason why it's Star Trek is because we are so happy we got to talk with actor and musician Tim Russ. And you probably know Tim Russ from his iconic role as the Vulcan on Star Trek Voyager, Tuvok. There he is right there.
I'm pretty sure, like, I mean, he's the perfect fit for a role like this.
Yeah.
Just talking to him, he sounds like, I mean, he just sounds incredibly intelligent.
Yeah.
The first few words out of his mouth, it's like, oh, this dude does like really articulate stuff.
Yeah.
Which makes him perfect for the role of Tuvok.
It's so cool. We obviously talk a lot about Star Trek, but we talk about his early career too. He's been a musician as long as he's been an actor, and he got to kind of like learn both things on his first ever movie role in Crossroads, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And he's had tons of movie and television experience. Another iconic role that you probably know him from, a single line in the movie Spaceballs. He's the guy combing the desert and says, "We ain't found shit." So, I mean, it's iconic, and we talk about that. We talk about life. We talk about his career. Such an amazing conversation.
Can you imagine when he showed up to the studio and they handed him that helmet?
Yeah.
Like, here's your costume, and he's like, "Are you serious? This is ridiculous."
It's so great. Also, he appears in the brand new sci-fi series Personal Space on Amazon Video. And if you remember a couple episodes back, we actually got to talk to another actor from that, actor Cliff Simon. So we talk about that, all this amazing stuff, and we got a sneak peek for you right now.
The Fueled by Death guest.
There because
Yeah, you got to bring up Spaceballs.
I got to
right?
bring it up because we talked about, like, working in the industry and getting to a point where you're starting to get the bigger roles. But another thing that, you're known for, which is one of those adages, there are no small parts, is a very small part in the movie Spaceballs.
Right.
And, like, I wanted to just ask you, like, was that like a day shoot? Were you on the set for like a single day for that, or was it longer than that?
No, just a day.
Yeah.
It was a day of work. It was just a gig for me at the time.
And it's incredible because just a gig, just a day of work, you show up, you say your line, it becomes one of the most iconic lines of the movie. And that's what I think is great is like that really puts, truth behind. There really are no small parts in that industry.
Did you know that movie was did you have any idea that movie was going to be that big when you were there shooting that?
Absolutely not. No. When it came out, everybody liked it. It was a comedy. It was very funny. Everybody loved it because Star Wars had been out. All three of them had been out before then, and it was fine. And then, it just kind of went to sleep after that. And, it wasn't until only in the last maybe 5 years, 6, 8 years that all of a sudden there was a resurgence in the popularity of it, or there was an awakening to me of the popularity of it. I didn't know it had become a cult classic. I literally forgot about, most of those roles back then, but all of a sudden, I was working on some gig and people were talking about it and they were raving about it. And, at the time I said, well, I did the role about, you ain't found the shit. I did that part and they just they fell on the floor. Came back the next day with videotapes or whatever it was of the movie or DVDs and wanted me to sign all of them. And I was like, wow, man, I didn't realize that was such a big deal. But for some reason it became a really big deal. And it's ironic, as this business is. I got friends of mine who worked 3 weeks on a movie doing all this dialogue and scenes and none of it ends up in the movie. I get 4 words and nobody seems to have forgotten them. And when I say that, I mean literally, I think everyone I've ever spoken to knows that movie and knows those lines.
Yeah.
They know the scene. It's unbelievable, man, that, I can work 7 years on a series and more people know me from 4 words than they do from the series. That's true.
Science!
All right, D-Man. So science this week, staying on Earth. We've got some archaeological news, which is some pretty cool. Actually, 2 different stories that kind of meld into one. We're literally learning new stuff about the origins of humanity from some new tools that have been discovered in different areas of the world. First up, the first evidence of human life ever is found in the Olagasali Basin. I think I got that right. Olagasali Basin. That's 1.2 million years ago that we're finding. We've found stuff already. 1.2 million years ago. This is a geological hotbed of stuff in southern Kenya, and this is actually a picture of the area. For hundreds of thousands of years, people living there have used large stone tools called hand axes. And we found those forever and ever and ever. But Recent discoveries have found that early humans in East Africa begun using color pigments and manufacturing more sophisticated tools 320,000 years ago. That's tens of thousands of years earlier than we thought. And I've got a picture, and if you look on the left over here, or if you're looking, it's on the left, these larger ones, these are the hand axes. These are the ones that are way, way older, very crude, very just, used with your hand. Hand axes.
Yeah, it was just the first time we learned how to sharpen a rock.
The ones on the right here, these are the new ones that we're finding that are older than we ever thought. And why they're so sophisticated is they were fashioned for many more purpose, meant to be attached to like the end of a shaft and used as a projectile weapon or used as an awl or a scraper. Like much different type of. We're learning that these humans, these early humans, were way more advanced than we ever thought, and we still don't even know why they're using pigments, other than maybe the way we were to maybe discern class or discern different tribes using
That's pretty
different
deep.
colors. Very, very, very deep. I have the quote here. These behavioral innovations may very well represent a response to rapid changes in the environment. Such a response would have helped human populations endure climatic and environmental shifts that could likely contributed to the demise of many other species in the region. And that was said by Natural History Museum of Utah researcher Dr. Tyler Faith, who is actually the co-author of one of these studies about these tools.
Okay.
They analyzed a lot of large mammal fossils around these archaeological sites, and the bones told a story. Most species previously common in this area had disappeared and were replaced by others, including a massive zebra that's now extinct.
A massive zebra?
Massive.
How massive was a zebra?
Like an elephant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, very,
really?
very large. And
Oh, my God.
But because of this environmental shift and change, it's very interesting that we're seeing the early humans kind of have this jump in the way they're utilizing tools, the way they're utilizing.
Well, kind of like they had to adapt to to harsh changes.
The environment was like, everything was breaking apart.
So it was like,
yeah,
the dumb ones probably died off.
Yep.
And the smart ones came up with crazy tools like this.
Yes, for sure. And the authors and researchers, they found a lot of sharp-edged volcanic stone in this area, which is very interesting because a lot of it's made out of like obsidian or different types of obsidian that aren't found in this region. So people were actually migrating somewhere else, finding the stone and bringing it back. And I have a really cool video from that's a science video that kind of explains this a little bit more in depth.
Just last year, fossils of our species were dated to 300,000 years ago, much earlier than anyone had suspected. But archaeologists have struggled to find many securely dated fossils and stone tools from this critical time. Now, a team of researchers have uncovered a panoply of evidence of early human behavior, dating back 320,000 years ago to the Middle Stone Age. From the use of sophisticated tools to social networks and pigments. This toolkit emerged shortly after our ancestors' brains underwent a big surge in size 400,000 years ago, and just before fossils that may be very early members of our species appeared. The research is part of a multi-decade project at sites in the Olorgesailie Basin of southern Kenya. There, the team excavated some small, carefully shaped tools made of obsidian, which is valued for its sharpness. The tools were made by striking small blades and points off an asymmetrical core into a desired shape and thickness. This suggests complex planning, more than the earlier relatively clunky, large stone tools, such as the hand axe or scraper. The opposite ends of the points were sometimes modified to allow them to be attached to shafts. This projectile technology is an important step in the development of hunting. For fast and dangerous prey, these tools could be flung at a distance, with reduced danger to the hunter. The team analyzed the stone artifacts and compared them to locations of obsidian sources in Kenya. They found that the rocks must have been transported from as far as 90 kilometers away, farther than individuals were likely to walk. This suggests that the rock for making stone tools and other objects may have been passed hand to hand in a network of ancient humans. Such networks would have required considerable social and cognitive complexity. This is the earliest evidence of human social networks to date. Just as remarkable was the discovery of rocks used for coloring. One site had rocks streaked with black manganese, and other sites revealed processed red ochre. These pigments may have been used to draw on people's bodies as a form of symbolic identity. If you have a red streak on your forehead, it signals to others, possibly hostile strangers, that you're the person they met with before, and that you're trustworthy. So why and how did these shifts in behavior happen with Middle Stone Age hominids? Researchers examined a plethora of evidence from the basin sediment and found that the time in which these individuals emerged was one of severe resource instability and episodes of scarcity. These ancient humans may have expanded their social networks and hunting skills as a means to survive such unpredictable, changing conditions. Researchers have yet to uncover hominin fossils from the Middle Stone Age at Alorga Siley, but the tools tell us much about their makers. These new discoveries provide strong support that some aspects of modern behavior have deep roots and emerged early in Africa, then evolved gradually over time.
So this brings up an interesting point that we've brought up a few times of the importance of community.
Yes.
Because I think right here we're seeing the birth of community.
Oh, yeah.
Because it kind of seems like it was a choice to like, oh, you can die off like the other 85% of our species that has died off, or we can work together.
Yeah.
To come up with a solution to survive. And that was the first time it was like the concept of community was even brought up. We were probably just thriving. Everything was okay. Plenty of fruits and animals to eat off of. And then all of a sudden, all the climate changes and we're all dying. And it's like, dudes, let's work together or else the rest of us are going to go.
Yeah, there might not have even been a lot of communication between, groups of early humans that lived near each other. There might not have even been that much communication until the environment started changing so rapidly.
Right.
Where I would literally be like, yo, let's work together.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Well, it was probably like even a thing that comes down to like trial and error when they realize like, oh, if my group helps this group, we actually survived.
Right.
Whether the other two groups that didn't work with each other, they did not.
Right.
So it's like, therefore, we discovered this thing that helps us survive, and that thing is called community.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
It's pretty crazy. And one of the last things about this, which I thought was interesting, is that whole thing about the pigments. And one of the other co-authors, Dr. Rick Potts, who's the director of the National Museum of Natural History's Human Origins Program, said, "We don't know what the coloring was used on, but coloring is often taken by archaeologists as the root of complex symbolic communication. Just as color is used today in clothing or flags to express identity, these pigments may have helped people communicate membership in alliances and maintain ties with distant groups," kind of like what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Which is really, really interesting. And this isn't the only discovery that happened recently. Another one at a different part of the world in China was found that they were using bone tools much earlier than we ever found early humans in that area using bone tools. So again, they're showing that they're evolving much quicker than we had initially thought. Marks found on the bone fragments show that humans living in China in the early late Pleistocene were already familiar with the mechanical properties of bone and knew how to use them to make tools out of carved stone, the scientist said. Using a method called optically stimulated luminescence, the Lingjing tools were dated between 125,000 and 105,000 years ago. That's incredible because up until now, the oldest bone tools that we discovered in China were 35,000 years old. So this is pushing our knowledge of early humans way earlier than we thought.
You know what's crazy is that we just keep on discovering more things, and we just keep on pushing our timeline back. It never goes the other way.
Right.
So even though we're discovering now it's, 125 to 105,000 years ago, we might discover something next year that'll push that back another 100,000 years. It's pretty crazy.
It's really, really
It's almost
cool.
like we completely underestimated our evolution.
It is. And what's neat is even though we underestimated it, we're always open to trying to figure it out even farther back. And the more we dig, the more technology gets better. Like you love to say, like lasers. They're using lasers to find out a lot of this stuff, As technology is getting better, we're learning more about it.
We need better lasers!
Yeah. And finally, the team has not yet determined which hominid species the users of these lynching tools belong to, although they do know that they lived during the same period as Neanderthal and Homo sapien. So it's just a matter of time before we find more remains, more tools that we can kind of date that a lot more specifically, which is really cool. That's why archaeology is awesome.
Yeah. Very cool, man.
What fuels you?
All right, so this week we got to talk to actor-musician Tim Russ, and he had a lot of interesting stuff to talk about. And when we asked him what fueled him, one of the things he was talking about was he loves his job. He loves being able to go out there and either play a show, musically, or be part of a show, and act in a movie or a television show. And because the reason why he loves it, it's because it challenges him. The nature of challenge, the way he can broaden his skills every time he takes on a new job, and he finds that very refreshing.
And what was kind of cool is that he didn't seem torn between one or the other career.
Right.
It kind of seemed like one lent itself to the other.
Yeah.
And I had this conversation with Tim, our new CFO. I'm sure you'll get to meet him soon.
Oh yeah, we'll have him on the podcast soon.
I was having a good long talk with him. I think it was Friday as I was leaving. We were talking about the podcast a bit, and the podcast is a very small part of what I do here at Death Wish Coffee. And he posed a question to me, and I get this a lot, of if you had to decide between being on the logistics, more administrative side of things, or more on the media performance side of things, excuse me, at Death Wish, like, what would I choose?
Right.
And my response was that the first thing I would say is that if you made me choose between one or the other, that the other would suffer. Because being here, broadcasting, podcasting, having deep conversations lends me skills to my other side of my job, of the administrative side of I'm always on the phone with salesmen, working deals, planning stuff out. And a big part of that is communication.
Right.
And that's what we're doing right here.
Yeah.
And I know there are many times in that side of the job, it's like, oh, wow, the communication that I experience on the podcast just lends itself tenfold to just talking to all these people that I have to deal with on the administrative side. It's like everything works easier because of what I do here, and vice versa. On the podcasting side of thing, I really feel like the great angle to my job as a podcaster and broadcaster here at Death Wish is that I'm inside the administrative side, and I'm able to give you the viewpoint of somebody who's taking care of the business and running the business from the inside.
Yeah.
Which makes my role so much more interesting than just another dumb talking head.
Yeah.
And when we talked to Tim Russ, that's pretty much what he was explaining to us, that one lends itself to another.
Yeah.
And I think a big part of the lesson of what fuels you here is that, having an open sense of challenges will help you take on more challenges in the future. The more challenges you take on, the better you'll be at taking on challenges.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I also agree, I think we talk about it a lot on this show, love what you do what you love, and also, kind of always be looking for that next level and wanting to broaden your skill. And from my perspective, my job here at Death Wish is broadcasting. So, I'm in this 24 hours a day, a lot of times. And but there are aspects of this job that, I look at like, oh, wow, just learning something as basic as Photoshop, helps me create a better video presentation for a show like you're watching, or for some of the commercials we make or something like that, So being able to even just look at the smallest things. Again, you want to talk about communication. One thing I never had to do in any other job before this job was the amount of email that I have to do with this job.
I know, it's crazy.
Other than, personal email. What up, dog? I don't do that here.
Yeah.
But kind of learning how to, speak to a whole group of different type of people doing something like the podcast or the show, I can translate that into when I have to make corporate emails and talk to like either different people in this company or in other companies, or even cold emails trying to get guests or something like that. I feel way more confident on that. So it's like those challenges, all build on one another. And hearing Tim talk about something like that, it was very eye-opening.
Yeah, I got a question to pose. How many times have you utilized a skill that you didn't expect to utilize now that you had learned in the past from trying to take on a challenge? Meaning that I'm trying to think how to pose this intelligently, but
right.
Say you took the time to learn Photoshop doing something else, like making a music video for the band.
Making a flyer for the band. Yeah.
And now you get posed challenges today that you go, oh, I know a big chunk of this because you had challenged yourself earlier in life.
Oh, and totally. And that, I mean, you brought it up. When Dustin and I were in our old band, I took it upon myself to make a couple of our music videos. And I taught myself how to use things like After Effects and iMovie and how to cut. Like, I made a video, one of those videos where all of us, there were 5 members of the band or 6 members of the band, and each of us had our own camera angle, and it kept switching between that, and I taught myself how to do that. I knowing that allows me to kind of jump headfirst into video production like I do here.
And it's pretty interesting because you can look at that like when you're in the band and you're learning that skill and nothing happens with the band, and you could easily think, man, I did all this for nothing.
Yeah,
I spent so much time making this music video and I never did anything with it.
Right.
But it's not true. Here you are down the road, making money at a good job because you took time to take on these challenges early on. So even though it didn't come to fruition there, it still adds up to something later.
Yeah,
and it's very important to, even though challenging yourself may not yield immediate results.
Right.
Somewhere down the line, you're gonna go, oh, I know how to do this.
Yeah.
Because you decided to take out, like, the reward of the challenge is the challenge itself.
And more often than not, the results are not immediate. They're more often than not
almost never.
Yeah, it's a lot of hard work, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of effort to do anything in this life, whether you love it or not. But it's hard to kind of wrap your brain around, and that's kind of what we're getting at in What Fuels You this week, is to wrap your brain around even the smallest aspects of what you do can be looked at as challenges that will only benefit you on the whole,
right?
And kind of better your job, better your station, and better you. That's kind of like what Tim was talking about too. Is like throughout his career as an actor and a musician, he works in such a different way, as a different caliber now as when he started. When he was when he was just green on the set of Crossroads, he was talking about it just being starry-eyed, talking to these people and desperately trying to just deliver his lines and be there in the moment. And now, because he just, took these minor little challenges, a lot of acting is just second hat to him, or second nature to him,
And this lends itself to a little bit of a deeper perspective here. And this is a perspective I've been more recently been trying to take on, because there's a lot of issues you're going to deal with in life, and they're not problems, they're puzzles. And when I feel those situations come on, like, oh, this is going on, this is going on, this is going on, I think, okay, good. Because here's a challenge that I have the privilege to overcome. And then I will become a greater character because of it.
Yeah.
So as things start to get worse, I get more excited. I think, good.
All right.
Bring it on.
I think that's a great mentality to have. And that's tough to wrap your brain around. That takes time and effort to even get there.
So either things are going right or you're learning.
Yeah.
And we talked about that way early on.
Yeah, that's an adage we always come back to, for sure.
And it lends itself back to that. But it's hard to keep that mindset when everything's going wrong. But if you do it really, it really opens yourself up to a new level of success.
Yeah.
To be able, it really freaks people out when they're like, oh my God, this, and this is going wrong. And you're like, cool, good. Let's deal with it. And they're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And because you have that mindset, you're not being bothered by all the emotional disturbances. It's not about you.
Right.
It's about taking care of the situation. It's not about your
Totally.
feelings. Fuck your feelings. Get shit done.
Get shit done. You got this.
Community shout out.
All right. So this week, community shout out. You actually found this one, D-Man.
Oh, yeah.
You want to shout him out? Give it your best shot.
Armando Terrazas II.
There it is. At ARTERII on Instagram. We found Armando because he is the owner and operator of Fracture Studios and a huge coffee drinker from Chicago. He actually posted this photo of 2 of our bags saying he's always wanted to try it. And he's a huge coffee drinker, and he didn't know if the world's strongest coffee was going to really do anything for him. And when he was asked, he actually commented on this post and said it was the first time in over a year and a half that he has felt mildly jittery and focused. So we'll take that as a win. Thank you so much, Armando, for digging
Keep
the
on
coffee.
drinking. Just keep on drinking. It'll work.
Here's a picture of Armando hard at work at his station right there. And it's just cool. Another one of those cool things that you find, like diamond in the rough kind of things that people posting about the company, loving our brand and doing what they do. He's constantly either behind the board at a live event or recording music. And I actually have a video of him playing around on a keyboard. And he's creating what you're hearing right in front of your eyes. And I think that's pretty fun. It's super fun.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So mugs up. This week's community shout out, Armando Terrazas II. Awesome. And we got some birthdays. We always got some birthdays. There seems to be somebody's birthday every single day.
The human race just keeps on breeding, and
Yeah.
we keep on shouting you out.
So first up, and very fitting for our show, that also we are going to be talking to a man from Star Trek tomorrow on the podcast. Thursday, March 22nd, my Captain, William Shatner, Captain Kirk there, is going to be 87 years young.
Damn, dog.
This dude is just, he keeps going.
Yeah.
He's still going, still doing amazing stuff, but I got a picture of him here from his early days on Star Trek.
Hasn't aged a day.
With Leonard Nimoy there as Spock. God, I love William Shatner. Everything he's ever gotten to do.
You never hear too many negative things about him
No,
either.
he's a stand-up dude.
He's been around for 87 years, and TMZ has nothing to report on this guy, you know?
Nope, he's a stand-up
Gotta
dude.
love him.
On Saturday, March 24th, we got 2 really cool birthdays. First up, The Undertaker. 53 years old he's turning. Otherwise known by his actual birth name, Mark Calloway. There he is with his signature eye roll back move where he scares
It's a move.
he scares the bejesus out of whoever he's going to be wrestling.
It's working.
He's been in the ring since 1984. This dude, yeah, has just been wrestling forever.
God, he must just be in so much pain all the time.
I bet. And
Oh
if
my
you
God.
don't know who The Undertaker is, he comes out like this in a coffin flanked by people in robes, and then they set that coffin on the side of the ring there, and he pops up on the side of the ring. It's the best. It's such a good shtick. It's so good. Oh, man. So happy birthday to The Undertaker. But also on Saturday, March 24th, the very lovely Alyson Hannigan is going to be 44 years old. You probably know her from such roles as American Pie. Also, oh, God, what else? She's done a ton of voice acting work. She was on How I Met Your Mother. But one of my favorites, near and dear to my heart, Willow on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And there she is as Willow before she became evil and as Willow became very evil. She was a witch. So
Yeah.
obviously black magic got into play, and I love Buffy.
God, I watched the shit out of that
Yeah,
series. That
such-
and the spinoff.
Angel,
Angel,
yeah.
I
Oh, heck
watched the
yeah.
shit out
They
of
were
that.
so much fun. Pure 90s fun right
David
there.
Borealis was the
Yeah.
man. Just saying.
Yep, the man. On Sunday, March 25th, the iconic Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul, is going to be 76 years old, and we wish her all the best. She just had to cancel a slew of dates on her doctor's orders. She's not feeling so hot, and her doctor was like, you should probably cancel the next couple dates that you're going to be doing singing. So hopefully she gets better and she gets out there again, because she still brings it all the time. I have a picture of her from her younger years, actually. This was taken in 1960 as she was recording some of her iconic music back in the day.
She graced the studio that we visited. Used to be Sweetfish back in the day.
Yeah.
What's it, Edie Road?
Edie Road, yeah, she did.
She recorded in there.
She sure did.
Good
It's
pictures of her up in
pretty iconic. Finally, Tuesday, March 27th, Nathan Fillion is going to be 47 years old.
God
if
bless
you
that
don't
guy.
know who Nathan Fillion is, I mean, most people will scream, Firefly, Captain Mal. But I mean, if you're not a huge nerd, he was in Slither. He's been in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
He's done a ton of voice acting
His
work.
voice acting is so dope, especially with video games.
Oh,
He's in a
yeah.
lot of video games, including Destiny 2.
Yep, he's done a lot of stuff for DC. He's been both Superman, Batman, and Green Lantern, I think, for different animated
What's
stuff.
that series that Doogie Howser did?
Oh, I got it right here.
you do?
Dr. Horrible
Oh my
Sing-Along
God,
blog.
I can't believe you have that.
One of my favorite
That's
things.
why we're friends,
Yes,
Jeff.
definitely. If you guys don't know Dr. Horrible Sing-Along blog, the basic premise is that Neil Patrick Harris there is Dr. Horrible, and he's desperately trying to join this group of bad guys, and he's trying to prove his bad guy worth. And his nemesis, the good guy, is Nathan Fillion, who is Captain Hammer. The hammer means his penis. And it's a comedy. It was a web series when the writer's strike happened. I believe it was like 2006, 2008.
yeah.
So all the television shows stopped. So everybody had a bunch of free time. So these two got together. Joss Whedon is the one that frickin' wrote and directed the
makes
whole
sense.
thing. And it all appeared on the web. It's so funny. You can still find it on YouTube if you've never
It's
seen
definitely
it.
a gem. You guys need to check it out if you haven't.
So funny. Let's roast something.
I smell a roast.
Rock, you must be smelling spicy foods today.
Yeah. So that's the roast this week. The roast this week is spicy food. And I just want to preface this. I love spicy food. I'm a big fan of Indian food. I'm a big fan of hot wings. I love spicy food. But I'm roasting it as why do we make food that's inedible? A good spicy dish is something that makes you sweat and brings out the endorphins, and you just want to keep eating it because if you stop, it's just going to hurt, and it just feels so good to eat it. But the spice is there with the flavor. We have gotten into this thing where we make foods that are just painful to eat. Why are we doing that?
I'll tell you why, because there's too many douchey dudes going, I could eat anything, bro. You just feed it to me, I'll eat it.
That's true.
And then they eat it, and they're like, oh, no. And they're like, see, you're a douche. I knew it.
It's true. And I got some examples of some spicy food out there.
By the way, I'm going to be that douchey guy. I love, you make it spicy, I'll put it in my mouth.
Of course. One of them
sounded bad.
is one of my favorite Indian dishes. It's called Vindaloo, and it can be made with chicken or goat or pork. And it's basically just a bunch of spices and ginger. I know you're not a fan of it. I love it. It's so delicious. In fact, we have a restaurant in Saratoga that I go to all the time, and I order this, and it's just perfect. It's just spicy enough that like I leave sweating, but I'm happy about it.
Love spicy food.
You're not an Indian food
I
fan.
hate Indian food.
And that's fine. Like they use a special type of spice profile, and it's just like coffee.
Yeah.
Like you either like it or you don't. You know, you like that taste or you don't. And same thing with Indian food. So I get it. But this is a very famous one. Another one that I've never heard of before, but it rates on tons of lists as one of the spicier foods out there. It's called Papa Allah. It's a Peruvian cold dish.
Ooh, I want to eat that.
With eggs, and that sauce that you see is made out of ají amarillo and habanero peppers, so it's very, very, very spicy sauce.
Like, is that all eggs, or is that like
No, I believe
corn
that's
biscuits?
like an egg and cornmeal kind of thing that's in
that
there
looks
too.
So good. I wanna eat
Yeah,
the
I want to try
shit
it
out of
too.
that.
I've never had it. It's like I said, it's a Peruvian dish. If any of you guys have ever tried Papa Allah, let us know in the comments what that's like.
Yeah,
But
seriously.
It looks really good.
Where can I get that? That looks good.
Next time we go to New York City, I bet you we can find a Peruvian place that's
happening
this, for sure.
It's happening.
Another very famous spicy dish that a lot of people love, myself included, is the Korean barbecue favorite, kimchi. It's fermented cabbage, lots of spices, lots of pepper. Can get really hot depending on who makes it.
I've never had too spicy kimchi.
I've had some really spicy kimchi. Yeah.
I can see how they can get out of hand.
Yeah, some people make it out of hand, which is cool because usually myself, I'm dumb. I'll sit there with a bowl of kimchi sometimes and just eat it. But it's a side dish. You're supposed to eat it with things, you know?
Yeah.
And so even if it's really hot, you add it with like eggs or you add it with, chicken or whatever you're going to eat, and like it kind of, that cools it down and it's good. But again, we take this to extremes. The reason why I'm bringing this into the roast, we just got back from a trip to Boston, and it was pretty fun. And on the way back, you picked up a bag of chips.
I love those chips.
These Trader Joe's Ghost
No, it wasn't those.
These weren't?
No, it was the next one you have listed, the Paqui Chip Challenge.
The Pocky Chip Challenge. We'll get to that. That's different. But they were ghost pepper chips, the one that you picked up. They weren't the Trader Joe's one.
No.
A lot of people are coming out with these same chips.
But they were ghost pepper chips, and they're ridiculous.
We sat there in the car eating them, and it was just like, ow.
No, I sat there in the car eating them. Everybody else had like one, and they were like, no, ouch, that hurt. I don't know. I like that feeling. Like if I stop, I might die.
Yeah. Well, let me bring this up then. I mean, the ghost pepper. You probably have heard about ghost peppers. Those are one of the hottest peppers in the world. The hottest pepper apparently in the world is the Carolina Reaper. Sorry, and this company called Pocky created this Pocky Chip Challenge where they have this one chip. You buy it. They're sold out now. You can't get them. But it's one single chip. It's about this big, and it's just doused in Carolina Reaper.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the same company that makes the chips that I was eating on the way home.
It's the hottest pepper in the world on the hottest chip in the world. And just do a short search on YouTube of the Pocky Chip Challenge. It's just people literally eating this chip and then crying for an hour.
Really?
Because it's so ungodly hot. In fact, I know some of my friends have done it. And they literally, their face just swells up. They start crying and snotting all over the place. It's not fun. Why are you doing it? It's ridiculous. People are filming themselves not only eating this, but filming themselves eating actual Carolina Reapers. That's what they look like.
Yeah.
Are these peppers. Please do not do this. Do not, if you ever get your hands on these, do not just eat one of these.
God, they look like they're poison.
They look like one of those poisonous tree frogs.
Yeah, they do.
And a lot of this stuff is being made into sauces. That's, the big challenge too, is eating the hottest wings in the world. The wings to the hot wing sauce challenge, that kind of thing. And there's tons of examples of this stuff out there. You guys might have heard of this, the Scoville Scale. And I'll put this bigger so you can see it. But I mean, like, you got your green sweet bell peppers that have a Scoville of 0. And then you got your cayenne pepper, which has a Scoville rating of 20,000. And then you got your habanero, which is 300,000. Your ghost pepper, which is 1 million on the Scoville scale. The Carolina Reaper is 2.1 million. The pure capsaicin, which is the actual chemical that makes the hot chili, that comes up at 16 million. If you were to ingest that, you'd have to go to the hospital. Period.
Wow.
Period. Like we as mammals.
I got a new challenge.
Yeah. We as mammals are not supposed to be in contact with that pure of a chemical. And they've made all sorts of different hot sauces like this. One is called Da Bomb, Beyond Insanity. It's on the Scoville scale at a very low 135,600 on the Scoville scale. Oh, I have some right here.
Oh, so that's less than Mad Dog because I've eaten Mad Dog.
This is the and you know what? We'll do this for you guys because whatever. Because is this why
it smells good?
Is this why people do this? Because not only the endorphin rush of trying it, but because people like watching people in pain.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We grew up in the Jackass era, Jeff.
I guess. Woo. Yep, that's hot. Yeah. Ooh, instantly burns my tongue. Instantly in my nose. And I'm salivating right now. So I'm gonna drink a little bit of soda and a little bit of water.
I like that. It was good.
Mm-hmm. Now again, we had the tiniest bit on a toothpick. What I like about something like this,
You put a little bit in your sauce.
tiny bit in your salsa or in whatever you're making.
I like to put it in spaghetti sauce,
Yeah,
whatever.
You know, and it'll kick it up a notch. But I mean, literally, I feel the heat on the back of my mouth right now.
That's
Just-
good.
Just hurting. So we got that one. Next on the list, and the only other one I got, is this. And this, I don't even have this. This is the Mad Dog 357 number 9 plutonium.
I've had that stuff.
This is supposedly $9 million on the Scoville sale. This is just
That one hurts.
ridiculous.
That one is like
The one I've got is Mad Dog 357 Naga Morich pepper puree. So this is better. This is exactly what you want for your salsas or cooking.
What's
with.
the Scoville on that?
It doesn't say. But the reason why is because it's their pepper extract, but it's mixed with vinegar, and it's a puree. So it's meant for cooking. But it comes with this wonderful little thing. And I'll
Jeff,
read.
you're dying over there. It's
I know.
funny.
I'll read this. I'll read this for you. It says.
I can hear
says-
the saliva just building up in your mouth.
I agree, as indicated by my opening of this bottle, as follows in connection with my purchase of this product. Due to the extreme hot nature of this product shall be used as a food additive. This product can cause serious injury if directly consumed, ingested, or applied to the body.
I feel like that's just marketing, man.
I also says,
I don't think that's real.
I hereby disclaim, release, and relinquish any and all claims, actions, and lawsuits that I or any of my dependents, heirs, family members, or legal representatives may have against any party relating to any damage or injury that may result from the use or consumption of this product.
I would like to talk to a lawyer because I believe something like that would not hold up. I believe it's just pure marketing.
This is what it says on the bottle, which I love. Ghosts don't hide in the shadows. They hide in this bottle. Once opened, which I can already smell it.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Woo!
The evil of this ghost will linger on your tongue relentlessly. It's like haunting you've always feared. This ghost won't give you a fright. It will make you beg for your life. Okay, so this is the 357 Naga Morich pepper puree. Do you want to clean one of these? No? Do a little bit of yeah. Put a little bit on there. All right, so I just got, a little bit on there. Ready?
No problem. That's good.
No problem. Yeah, because that's cut with vinegar.
Well, sometimes
Definitely got the heat. I mean, my tongue is tingling.
vinegar can be tricky because it opens the pores in your mouth.
Yeah.
So you can be left more susceptible to spicy foods.
Woo! Yeah.
This one's good.
Yeah, I like that one. And what's crazy is, so our buddy, one of the Brad Thibodeau out there, he went down to Florida like a couple years ago.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
Hi.
it comes right on your
Hello.
back. Yeah, it's right on that back right there. He went down to Florida, and he got a pepper sauce called Flashbang, and I wish I had it, but he brought it home. It came in a grenade. It looks like a grenade, and you unscrew it, and you bring out the bottle. And he bought it at this place in Sarasota, Florida called the Pepper Palace. And I had photos of him. He literally had to sign a waiver.
Dude, that's
to
just
buy.
marketing. That's such bullshit.
To
That
buy
waiver
it.
is not going to go anywhere in court if somebody actually got hurt with that stuff.
Right.
It is really just a selling point.
And that
So you can go home and be like, I had to sign a waiver to get this.
Yeah, and that stuff is $3.5 million on the Scoville, and I'll attest to it. 2 New Year's days ago, we were hanging out at Brad's house on New Year's Day, and we cooked a bunch of eggs. And I took the end of a fork and I put it in the bottle, and then I put a huge scoop of eggs on the end of my fork, and I ate the fork full of eggs with the tiniest bit of this hot sauce on there. I had to drink a half a gallon of milk just to feel better, and it took me a half hour just to feel better. And that was the tiniest bit.
This Mad Dog Plutonium.
Yeah, same stuff.
When I tried this, I literally had a glass of milk, and the only time it didn't burn is when I had milk in my mouth.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, I just have to drink this for the rest of my life.
For the rest of my
I'll
life,
be
I'm
okay.
drinking milk. This is the one that's scary, and I didn't even know it existed. It's called Blair's 16 million Reserve. This is literally 16 million on the Scoville scale. This is straight capsaicin salt. This is literally just the chemical made into salt. You can't find this on the internet anymore, and the rumor is that someone literally died from ingesting this
I'm not surprised.
because it's that crazy. And it just goes to show, it's like, again, there's a reason for making delicious hot stuff. Like I really want to take like either the bomb or this stuff and
I like that second. That
make
was
a
really good.
delicious sauce
I
out
like
of
the
it.
late kick. That was fun.
But the stuff that's just too hot to ingest, like that Pocky chip, it's just like, why? Why would you do that? Especially when you see hundreds of people on the internet just dying over it. It's like, ugh.
I don't
You're
know.
right. I think it's the Jackass era. and
Yeah,
it's
I
just
mean, the problem is, look what happened with the Tide Pods. People are getting viral views from hurting themselves.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad. It kind of reminds me of Idiocracy. What was the name of that TV show on Idiocracy?
Oh, I don't
Ouch
remember.
My Balls.
Ouch my balls. Yeah.
Like, we're literally boiled down to the point of, oh, he hurt himself. It's slapstick humor.
Yeah.
We've always loved it, and it's just a different form of it.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to talk with my chin up so I don't drool on
I
the
know.
microphone.
It's like still salivating. It's crazy. I'm like sweating. Yeah. Okay, let's get to the update.
D-Man's Death Wish Update. Brought to you by Death Wish Coffee.
Alrighty, D-Man. So, the update. If you guys don't follow us on Facebook Live, which you are probably watching us right now, we're trying to do more of them. And this Monday, we did a special little reveal with our brand new, like, crazy printer. I don't even know what the Glowforge does, but it's crazy.
It's a CAD CAM machine technically, so
Okay.
it does it through burning wood, pretty much.
All right. Well, we unveiled the new image that's going to be part of our next artist series, which is done by artist Jack Ankerson. And here is a picture of all the stuff. Just like if you missed it the last time, we did it with artist Jeremy Fish, and you got a bag of beans, you got a collectible tin, and you got an awesome print all with the same image on it. We're doing it again with a different artist, and we couldn't be more excited to do it.
This artist has a really cool way of doing these, where
Yeah.
he has like I don't know what it's made out of. It's like a silicone stamp, right?
Oh, okay.
And he carves this image out of the silicone stamp.
Neat.
And then he rolls the ink over it and then lays it down. So
Neat.
it's not like this was actually drawn. This was carved. This is
Yeah.
a carved stamp,
So cool.
which is really cool. And he made this specifically for us so we could release it to you guys.
And we did a blog about him, and I'll actually put that link up here so you can guys go learn more about Jack Ankerson. But yeah, this artist series will be coming out within like a month, let's say, to be fair. We just got to get all the components together and get it ready for you guys, and can't wait because we love doing the first one, and hopefully this is something we do, every now and again with other artists.
Oh, that came back up.
Another thing that's coming up, guys, we've been telling you about it. Coming tomorrow, it's here.
I can't wait for this, man.
Yeah, there it is. Our new era hat.
I love this design. Thomas
Yeah.
is really an ace at coming up with this kind of stuff.
I
and,
love the red brim.
Yeah, the colors are cool. The patch is cool. I mean, he really nailed it.
When we were recently in Boston for St. Patrick's Day, we were at the Dropkick Murphys show to deliver the giant check that you guys all helped with.
We're making a habit out of presenting giant checks.
With
I
the
think it's
Cloud
pretty
of Fun
funny.
and all that stuff. But it was great because our fearless leader, Mike Brown, was there, and he was wearing this hat, and I lost him a couple times in the crowd. And all I had to do was look for the bright red brim, and I was like, oh, there he is.
Yeah.
I knew exactly where he was, so it was awesome. Really, really cool. So that's coming up tomorrow, and like you said, it's limited.
Yeah.
Not super, super limited, but get on it.
I mean, this has a possibility, a medium possibility of selling out within the first few days.
Wow.
I'm not saying it will.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, don't get mad at me, please.
Yeah.
But, this hat has been performing really well as far as, like, who we've given it to so far has just absolutely loved it. And
Yeah.
I think it'll go very quickly, and I don't believe we'll be printing anymore afterwards.
No, like
so.
just so you guys know, what our goal is to always have the black normal Death Wish logo, new era hat. That'll be available all the time. And then every year we want to come out with a variant. Last year was the industrial logo, and this year's this one. So we want to kind of just switch it up all the time, give you guys something extra to buy. Finally, something that we're really excited about, we're getting a new truck. You guys know that?
I can't wait for
I
that.
cannot wait for our new truck.
I swear to God, I'm just going to move my office in there.
Yeah, I know. So we have an old truck. If you've ever been to a couple of our events on the East Coast, because that's about as far as I can make, this is what it looked like when we got it. It was big and white, bucks for books there. And we were like, you know what? We can buy this and turn it into something pretty awesome. So we had the incredible Thomas Dragonetti do a bunch of mock-up designs for the truck. And then we took it upon ourselves to paint it, which turned out all right. Wasn't the best.
Looks like we hit the wheels and everything's just like...
Yeah. It's like everything's black. It's what we do here at Deathwish.
Hey.
And then it finally turned into this. And this was actually a photo from New York Comic-Con where we were serving...
me yelling in the background like usual.
Yep, where we were serving coffee out of it, which was really great. But as you can attest to, this wasn't the greatest thing to put on the road.
No, it was very unsafe, and a couple of times I had to put my foot down like, I'm not making that drive, guys.
Yeah.
I'm not driving this thing anywhere until... I mean, at one point, it couldn't go up past 45 miles per hour.
Yeah.
And they were like, you're going to have to drive this to New York City Comic-Con. I was like, in order for that to happen, it needs to drive over 45 miles per hour.
Yeah.
And we eventually did get it to drive over 45 miles per hour.
It was so scary.
He was
driving.
It was like driving, excuse me, a half full gallon of milk. You ever mess with like a half full, where you push it and it moves and then it moves again?
Yeah.
That was this truck where you turn the wheel and it's like, hey.
Because not only does this thing kind of be rickety, but that whole back of it was just filled to the brim with supplies, coffee, cups, everything. Everything
a couple
we needed.
1,000 pounds of shit.
Yeah. And so he's driving, and then there's no other seat. There's just this little bucket seat that that folds down on the side where the door kind of just hangs, and that was my seat. So we're just driving down. Oh, and the other thing is the radio was broken, so when you played the radio, it projected like an ice cream truck.
Yeah, only on outside.
So we were just driving about 55 miles an hour precariously to New York City, blasting Black Sabbath as loud as we could on the thruway.
I swear to God, every now and then, like a ghost grabbed the wheel and was like, yeah!
Yeah. So we loved the idea of having a truck. It's just this one we kind of beat into the ground in the couple years that we had it. So we got a brand new one, and we're putting it together right now. And here's a sneak peek of it. If you guys haven't seen it in the blog, this is it. It's ginormous. Ginormous. This is only just one side of it. We're going to have refrigeration systems in it. We're going to have places to sell merchandise out of it.
Yo.
We're going to have the greatest espresso machine ever.
Yo. One word. Slayer.
Slayer.
And I don't mean
Not
raining
the band.
blood.
Yeah.
No. This is... This hot sauce keeps on kicking back up. This is the best espresso machine money can buy. And we're going to have it in here with a whole water filtration system within the truck.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing is going to have the capability to do anything we want, and we're going to be bringing it everywhere. So what we want to know from you guys is, where do you want to see this truck? Let us know right in the comments right now.
Yeah.
And we might just drop by and give you a visit.
Because let me say this. We bought a 28-foot truck. We cut a bunch of holes in it. We're obviously going to paint it jet black. We're going to put a bunch of cool stuff on it. We're going to have all our coffee, all our merchandise in there. We can't just let it sit in the parking lot. We got to do stuff with it.
Yeah.
We got to drive it places. I personally said how cool it would be, and I would sacrifice some of my day-to-day jobs here at Deathwish to go on tour with this truck and maybe just,
awesome.
Go from here to California and back and just hit all of the cool cities like your city in between. Mike laughed at me when I said that because he would like me here doing my job. But, I mean, we do want to take it as far as we possibly can, and maybe we can get, floaties for it and take it out into the ocean. And who knows? No, we're not going to do that. But who knows?
Some wing attachments.
Yes.
No.
We'll get Elon Musk on it, and he can give us some rocket boosters.
Elon, we're calling you out, bro.
Yeah.
Where are you at? SpaceX this bitch.
But we're really, really excited about this truck, and we'll keep you guys updated. We should be getting the final product in a few weeks.
I can't. I don't even believe it.
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy.
So when we get it, we'll take video of it. We'll all be driving it around the parking lot and yelling and blaring Sabbath. It's going to be amazing. Finally, guys, we started telling you about this last week. Tune in right here on Deathwish Coffee Company on Facebook Live every Friday. And our very own Sierra is going to be doing the contest reveals every Friday. So every single Friday, you can find out who wins the free coffee for a month and also our other cool contests that are going on. In fact, speaking of that artist series, we have a Jack Ankerson artist series contest happening right now. Put that link right here. And you can enter, and we'll be telling not only the details of all of our new contests, but saying live if you won. Like if it's your name, Sierra will put it right up there. Tell you that you won.
I heard something about a wiggle dance.
She has the greatest wiggle dance to start all of these shows. And, I mean, that's the – it's Friday when Sierra starts to do the wiggle dance.
It's not Friday until the wiggle dance happens.
It's the truth. It's the truth. So tune in next week, guys, for more Death Wish news on The Update.
And that's the show, ladies and gentlemen.
That is the show. Thank you for watching. Last chance. Share this feed. Share it in the comments. One lucky winner will get this mug signed by Demon and myself. It's the old man winner from last year.
And it's the only way you're getting this mug right now.
Yeah, for sure. So, you know it. You're watching the show. You know we want to give away a mug every single week. And sometimes we find some cool ones in the warehouse, just like this.
But mostly, we want to entertain you guys and let us know what you think. If you have any feedback, at Jeff Wish Coffee.
That's me.
At Death Wish Dustin.
That's him.
Let us know what you think. Let us know if you'd like to see anything different in the show.
Yeah.
Let us know if we suck. That's fine, too.
Yeah.
We'll just tell you suck, too, and then it'll be just a downward spiral of suckiness.
Be a suck fest. Or something.
No!
And don't forget, guys, tune in tomorrow to the podcast. I'll put the link up right here for tomorrow when we talk to incredible actor and musician Tim Russ. You probably know him from Star Trek. Might know him from Spaceballs. You probably know him from 1,000 other things. It's a great conversation. Don't miss that tomorrow. And we'll be back next week with a brand new show for you guys.
Cheers.
Bye.
This has been Fueled by Deathcast, a Death Wish Coffee Company podcast production. Thanks for listening.